What's up, people? It's with great hesitation for me to bring up this particular video just because it involves firearms, and I found that when you make a video about firearms, it just brings the shit out of people. I mean, just the worst out of the worst. Why does firearm bring out such crappy people around? I don't know. For the most part, a good bunch of yous are okay about it and everything, but that crappy ass 5% of you out there that are keyboard commandos just is really a turnoff, and you guys are really driving normal people away from firearms, away from your cause, my personal opinion. This particular subject I'm bringing up because it involves something unique to CZ fanboys and holster options for CZ pistols, specifically the CZ P01. So with that, let me break out the usual firearm disclaimer. Guys, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy in a garage having fun with my stuff. That is it. No advice, no nothing like that. This is just my personal preference. So with that, we're going to talk about the Blackhawk CQC holster. The Serpent concealment. It's made for the CZ 75 wrol, 75 SP01, and the 85 combat models of Blackhawk. I've been using this Tagua leather holster here for quite a while, and they're pretty inexpensive on eBay or whatever, and it's not specifically made for the CZ. It's made for a Sig Sauer. I forget which model, but it fits the Rami here like a glove. And these two pistols have pretty much the same sort of, styling to them. A little bit difference here and there, but very similar. And the CZ P01 fits in there just right for outside the waistband holster. My other firearms, I use a Phobos paddle holster. I like the convenience instead of having to have something that loop around the holster where it's kind of a pain in the ass to take off for a lazy person like myself. With these here, I could just go ahead and just hook it onto the belt or the waistband, and it's easy to somewhat hook in and off again. And these are pretty great for the range or hiking or something like that. But I didn't want to use a Phobos anymore. I wanted something different, something with a bit more retention for really hardcore hiking or scrambling out there in the field or whatever, like I like to do sometime. So here's the Blackhawk CQC holster, Serpa CQC, and primarily it was made for the SP01 and CZ 75 Bravo, according to the label. But since the SP01 is very similar to the P01 pistol, the P01 being the younger brother of it, I figured they might fit just right for this particular holster there, and it does. Doesn't rattle. It's in there nice and snug. It moves just a little bit, not too much, just back and forth, but it's very secure, and that guy is not coming out no time soon. So I found myself a really good sort of hiking in the range sort of holster when I don't want to conceal carry. This particular model, I bought the Tech Lock sort of belt adapter here, where you can lock this into some sort of webbing, your belt, just like so, or some webbing on your harness system or your backpack or something like that. And that's how primarily I would have it. This last time I went hiking, I knew I was going to go into a remote area during winter where not many hikers will be out there. I found two hikers there, and one of them was a veteran, and he was all cool, and the other guy was just, regular. They didn't notice me having a firearm anyway. But what would happen was I would carry this with me, nothing fancy style. Yeah, I'm a fan of his channel, but you know how he likes to put this crap on his chest harness or chest plate or whatever. I decided to do that on my sort of my lightweight pack here, just to keep it out of the way, easy access, not around my belt area. And when I break down for camp or make a camp for the night and everything, I'll just transfer this right onto my belt really nice and quick. So I'll always have it with me. The biggest reason why I wanted this holster was this retention feature here. My fingers, it just lands there. My finger lands on the pad here naturally, and it just comes out like butter. And it snaps in there with authority, and it doesn't move anywhere. So I like that very much for what I was doing. Not only that, it's a really small sort of package too. This thing weighs less than 4 ounces. I measured 3.88 ounces. So it's relatively lightweight. The only problem that I had with this was right at the trigger guard here. There's somewhat checkering there, or some sort of strapping there with some pretty aggressive lines there for a good sort of grip on the front there. That actually, in the beginning, it was really hard to get the pistol inside the holster here, because that particular checking would sort of bind right there where the locking mechanism that holds the trigger guard, it kind of clasps onto the trigger guard. If you see it move there, that part of it right there, that mechanism there, the checkering of the pistol would actually catch on there because it's so aggressive. It just bites into it like a knife. So after a little bit of working in and out, that was able to smooth out enough to where I could actually put the pistol in there. I mean, it didn't fit right in the beginning, so I coated it with some frog lube, the whole inside, and just worked it in there for about a good hour or so until it was practically smooth as butter now. The only con I have about this holster is that it does stick out away from the body quite a bit to where you're printing like crazy. But it's no big deal to the application that I'm using this for. It doesn't concern me. And also, the plastic there rubbing up against the finish of the P01, it did sort of wear out the coating here on my slide here. The slide itself is aluminum alloy, and the black coating did sort of rub off just a bit here in this where the wear marks of going in and out of the holster. Maybe a pebble or something got stuck in there, since I was in the woods for about 5 days hiking. And yeah, when I hike down a trail when I'm alone and stuff, sometimes I'll take it in and out just to sort of practice, because it was a sort of a practice hike for me. So going in and out and stuff probably did wear that out a bit. But what's the point of having a firearm if you're not going to use it? I mean, you are going to get it scuffed up if you're into the sport at all. Can't be too easy on your gear. It won't tell you what is going to fail on you if you don't mistreat it just a little bit. So that is the only con, just those two factors, but not enough to where it's a deal breaker for me, at least. The CZ P01 is also a little bit longer than the little brother here, the P01. The original holster actually was a little bit longer here, and here's the piece that I've hacked off, just like so. So it was that much longer, about a little bit over an inch. So now with that sort of hack job that I did to it, sawed off the front end there, and now it fits in there perfectly, and the muzzle part of the pistol is just maybe 1/8 of an inch recessed into the holster itself now. But it's a lot better sort of fit now. Well, I mean, it fit perfectly before, but I just wanted this particular much of plastic out of there to save. You're not going to save too much weight, but I just thought it'll look a little bit better and maybe a smaller package to be placed on my body there. And I had no trouble of the muzzle here getting, you know, dinged or anything out there in the field. So that worked out pretty well. So pretty much this is how I would attach to it. This cannot take too big of a sort of webbing to fit in there. This is like the smallest that it will take as far as thinness of the strap itself. Anything thicker than this, then this is not going to work at all. And even with this, I had to sort of put a death grip to it to make it sort of clip together. So with the tech lock there, just go around the webbing there and just clip it into place, and it's on there securely. And with that, you're okay. I decided to put the holster actually lower because I had my ribs pack here, and what that would do is the pistol would rest naturally on the ribs pack, so it won't flop around that much. After about 20 miles of hiking and everything, this sort of blocky part of the holster here that attaches to whatever webbing you have or whatever would, you know, after you hike and everything, it'll sort of swing around like this, and it would somewhat dig into your chest or whatever, especially the corners here once in a while. And after 20 miles of hiking, that could be annoying, but not too much. I mean, I dealt with it and it was fine. But I actually moved it down here to where it rested on top of my ribs pack. And deployment of the pistol once in a while out there in the field was nice and easy. Now as far as my CZ Rami, they both have sort of like the same profile, same grip angle and all that. Even the same trigger placement on the pistol there is just sized down quite a bit. You would figure that this would fit in there, but it doesn't. That's as far as it'll go in there. Right there you're forcing it, and it's not going to work, believe me. The problem is this trigger guard here, it's a bit too wide, so it's not going to fit into the channel of the holster itself, this part right here. So it just doesn't fit at all. Again, the holster doesn't come with this tech lock sort of attachment there, but what it does come with is this paddle holster, which I think is a bit too big this way. I kind of like the Phobos size, but this will work anyway. And then you have traditional belt loop to loop around your belt, just like this traditional holster here. Even though they call this the concealment holster, you're going to print like crazy with this, especially if you have a normal to slim build. It does stick out from your body quite a bit, more so than other over the belt holsters in the market. But if, like I said, if you're in a range or hiking or whatever where you're somewhat expected to, you know, have a firearm or whatever, and you just want a safe place to kind of just hold your firearm in place, this is perfect. So for all you CZ fanboys out there, this is another option for your CZ P01.